Skipmore, one of, if not my #1 favorite indie developer of all time. I've already played a lot of Skipmore games on the channel. One of the first episodes I ever produced when I first started covering games weekly was on Skipmore's Kamiko, an excellent and criminally underrated title that I'm thinking about revisiting on the PS5. Sometime after that, it came to my attention that the same people who developed Kamiko had also published another game, the Faerun Collection. This title was a compilation of 3 previous titles that had been released on mobile as well as the 3DS, all packaged up with the addition of a never-before-seen bonus game for consumption on PC and home consoles. I didn't immediately fall in love with Faerun. The mechanics didn't work quite how I expected them to, and the simpler style of gameplay wasn't as immediately inviting. Before long, though, I had well over 10 hours in the game, and had created what is still my most viewed modern video to date. My experience with Faerun 2 was very similar. In fact, it's one of the only games that's inspired me to take up arms, so to speak, and actually edit its wiki. These early videos played a huge role in filling out how I was going to complete and cover games for the channel, and I've yet to be disappointed by one. So why then has it been 5 months since I covered my last Skipmore game? Well, in part, because I don't want it to be over, but as well as that, I've really been waiting for the perfect time. This is going to be a bit of an interesting video. For the first time ever, we're going to be covering 2 different games. Faerun Origins, the prequel-threequel that neatly wraps up the entire franchise, and Faerun Blast, what I assume to be a completely non-canonical shoot-'em-up, which is unlockable as a bonus for completing all 3 of the other games beforehand. I'm bundling these 2 games together due to their length, as it will soon become apparent that either game doesn't really have enough meat on its bones to sustain a 7-minute video by itself. However, covering them both at once, I still think we'll have plenty to talk about. Let's start the discussion with Faerun Origins. Faerun Origins once again puts you in the shoes of Hope Girl, this time on a quest to rescue 4 magical fairies that have been cast away by an unknown evil. Without these fairies, the Demon King will regain his full power and the world of Faerun will presumably be lost. Fortunately, we waste no time getting in as we start off with a sword right from the beginning. The mechanics are a bit different this time around though, as the level system that previously made Faerun stand out has been removed in favor of health regen and one-hit kill enemies. This was done because, frankly, this game isn't long enough to justify an XP system. As you travel around the tiny map, you'll solve basic, puzzle-gamey puzzles in order to gain access to the fairies. As you should expect by now, Faerun Origins looks and sounds great. Interestingly enough though, this is actually the first game in the franchise to not use the classic Faerun style, which I personally kind of prefer. There really just isn't a whole lot to Faerun Origins, as the playtime, even of your first run, will definitely be measured in minutes. It's extremely straightforward and ends without so much as a boss fight. Once you've completed your first run, there are a couple of achievements you'll probably want to go back for. You'll have to complete the game without getting hit, and you'll have to make it to the end in under 6 minutes. Both things that are extremely easy to do, but you still probably didn't accomplish on your first playthrough. Beyond that, all you could really hope to milk for more playtime is lowering your time on the in-game leaderboards, but even those have less than a second between scores in the top 100, so you'll probably find earlier games more appealing for this purpose. This game is just really short, so short in fact that it made me wonder why even bother developing this game in the first place just for this collection. When researching for this video, it came to my attention that this actually wasn't developed as an original game. Well, sort of. Faerun Origins was developed as pretty much a one-to-one remake of the first Faerun game, published under the name Faerun on a Japanese flash game site. This makes a lot more sense as an origin story for this game and its title, and makes me appreciate much more its inclusion in what should be the ultimate collection. I put a little bit of time into the flash game, and while I'll be sure to link it down below if you want to check it out simply for its historical value, from a gameplay perspective, its poorly polished controls and low frame rate means you'd probably really be better off sticking to the remake. Once you've completed Faerun Origins, assuming you've also completed 1 and 2, you will finally unlock access to Faerun Blast. This is a really interesting game. It was developed almost entirely as a thank you for fans of the series, but it manages to pack in a very solid amount of classic Skipmore quality. You have the option to play as one of 3 characters, Hope Girl as well as Yamato and Yuzume from Kamiko. Interestingly enough though, Haname is nowhere to be seen, possibly confirming that she and Hope Girl are the same person. Each character has its own unique firing pattern and special attack with pros and cons, just like in Kamiko. This game actually has much more of a Kamiko feel with its fast-paced flowing action and the return of the SP system from that game. It's honestly a ton of fun to play. There are classic enemies to fight from all across the world of Skipmore, as well as bosses you'll recognize from previous entries. This also isn't a long game by any stretch of the imagination, although I would argue that it carries significantly more replay value than Origins with its 3 playable characters and high score based system. You could definitely have a lot of fun trying your best to master each character and unlock the highest score you can, aided by its own online leaderboard. There are also a couple of achievements for you to unlock, but they are really just more of the same. Complete the game as all 3 characters and fight each type of enemy. Piece of cake. With that done, you can finally unlock the Faerun Master Achievement, and once and for all complete the Faerun Collection. Neither of these games are a lot to be excited about on their own, maybe fun little bonuses to dedicate a bit of time to at some point, but not much else. However, when taken as part of the larger bundle, I really think they go to show how much fun this collection has to offer. The Faerun Collection feels like one of the best value for money deals I've gotten in a very long time. If the Switch is somewhat lacking stats are to be believed, I've put in some amount more than 35 hours into this compilation, all of which I snagged for a measly $10. Now, all that's left is for this game to make its way to PlayStation and Xbox. Kamiko is already available on pretty much every platform known to man, and I would love to see the same for the Faerun Collection, both so it can get more exposure to the public as large, and, if I'm being honest, I would probably buy it again. And with that, we've completed the Faerun Collection. I'm really gonna miss this series, but we aren't done with the world of Skipmore quite yet. You'll just have to stay tuned to find out how. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate nothing more than if you could drop a massive like, as well as subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss an upload. If you're a fan of Fortnite, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this next week. We have a lot of exciting stuff going on. As well as that, feel free to follow me on any of my social media. I plan to be live on Twitch next Tuesday, and you'll also be able to find Twitter, Instagram, and Discord all linked down below. Like I said earlier in the video, I am going to go ahead and link the original Faerun Flash game down in the description below, although if you are interested in potentially playing this game or preserving it so that you don't just lose it forever, I would go ahead and save it to your PC, as Adobe Flash support is ending on most browsers very soon, and given how hard it already was for me to find, it probably won't be super easy to get after that. Along with that, I'll have linked all of the music featured in this video in case you're interested. With that being said, I'll see you all next Tuesday, and as always, thanks for watching.